Now then guys, how you doing? Thank you for joining me on another top 5. So this time we're looking at the top 5 fallen giants that are going to be available in the FM22 cycle. Now we're currently going to be looking at these teams on the FM21 version of the game with an updated database, so we'll be seeing the transfers and the correct leagues that they'll be in, but it's debatable, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'm sure there'll be some strong opinions out there in the teams that I've chosen. Hopefully we go 5 for 5 and you would have chosen the same 5 teams that I've picked, but very, very unlikely. So yes, before we move on, thank you very much, like I say, for joining me on this video. If you haven't already subbed to the channel already, what are you doing? And please give the video a like as we continue to grow this channel. So without further ado, let's have a look at those top 5 fallen giants. So first then, we're going to go with Blackburn Rovers. So as you can see, currently in the Sky Bet Championship, and they haven't had the greatest times. When we look at the history of the club, you know, they won the league back in 1995 and then were relegated and re-promoted, finally getting relegated to the Championship in the 2011-2012 season before getting relegated into League One in 2016 and 17. They then bounced straight back up into the Championship where they've been ever since, but they won that Premier League title, like I say, 1995. And whilst I'm sure this probably wouldn't have been one of your picks in the Fallen Giants group, you would have probably went for Nottingham Forest, I would have imagined, with obviously the European glory and whatnot. And I think for Blackburn, a little bit of a sob story as well, with the Wengers taking over and basically running the club into the ground, let's be honest. So Blackburn Rovers, when we look at finances, obviously this isn't updated at all. I've got 100k to spend. Shocking, got an overall balance of £13 million. But like I say, this isn't updated for the FM22, as in we don't know what they'll have budgets within the new game. But like I say, if that transfer budget's anything to go by, it's going to be difficult. Just having a look at the club info, the captain is Elliot Bennett and their key player is Bradley Dack. Absolutely loves an injury, that guy, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Injured as it starts here, out for 4 to 5 months with cruciate ligaments. I think he just come back from a cruciate as well, if I remember the news rightly. Yeah, so Bradley Dack, the main man there, but even if you're starting off, not going to be available for 4 to 5 months. So next up then is a team that'll be in most people's lists, I'm sure. Kaiserslautern of Germany, currently in Germany's 3rd tier. They've had an absolute shocker. Now I remember these being one of the big guns in the early FM saves, Championship Manager saves even. And yeah, they're not doing great at the minute, currently in the 3rd tier, like I say, of German football. When we look at the overview of the clubs, they got relegated in the 2005-2006 season, were promoted back to the Bundesliga in 2009-2010, relegated in 2011 and 12, and then were relegated again in the 17-18 season. Now, they last won the Bundesliga in 1998. And it hasn't gone well for them since, let's be honest. Yes, they got promoted back to the Bundesliga. They managed to secure a 7th place finish. Not bad going at all, before then finishing in 18th and getting relegated. Looking at the club info overall, Carlos Ickinger's the captain, Jean Zimmer is their key player, and they've got a hot prospect in there as well. When we look at the squad overall, the squad is fairly decent, obviously on the FM21 version of the game. We've got plenty of star potential there. Jean Zimmer, like I say, is one of their key players. Currently can play all down that right-hand side, and he's decent to say, but like I say, he's in the 3rd tier. When we look at the season preview then, we're 13-8 to win. So the expectation is Kaiserslautern are getting promoted. They've got some fairly big teams in there, I'd say. 1860 München in there as well. As well as Duisburg, another team that have jumped there and thereabouts. So yes, in at number 4 is Kaiserslautern. Next up then is Auxerre of France. Now currently in France's 2nd tier. Now this club is renowned for its youth setup and being able to bring some real talent through. And in real life they have just fallen apart. So when we look at the history of the club and the overview, it's not been great. They were relegated in the 2011-12 season. You know, they weren't serial trophy winners, let's be honest. Let's just get that out the way straight away. But they were one of the bigger clubs in France as it stands. You know, they last won the league in 1996. They won the French Cup in 2005 and 2003. That was their last real bit of silverware. But yes, currently sat down in a 2nd tier, like I say, of French football. When we look at their key players, Charbonnier, a 31-year-old, can play up front, fairly decent as a target man, current ability 4-star, potential ability 4-star. Is there any real value in the squad? The highest valued player, a lone player, is valued 750k. Doesn't look bad though for potential. What about ability? Isn't bad either, but again, obviously this is in the FM21 database, so what you're seeing may not necessarily be accurate for the next one, but it looks fairly promising there. And what did I reckon then for our season preview? So we're expected to finish in 4th place. Toulouse in there as well in 5th place. So there's some big clubs down there as well. Vafsi, what a team, 15-1. But yeah, Auxerre, 4th place finish expected. It'd be really interesting when we look at the club info. Youth facilities are 3-star here. Youth recruitment is 1-star. Junior coaching is 1-star. And like I say, that was what Auxerre were famed for. So next up then, Deportivo La Coruña. Now this team, Super Depor as they were in the 90s when they won the league title in 1991 and I think in 1994 as well. It's not gone well since, if I'm completely honest. Yes, they had a couple of European Cup finals and they obviously had that big victory against Arsenal as well. But when we look at the overview in the club history, yeah, as you can see there, it's not gone well. Last won the title in the year 2000 and they were up and thereabouts. 3rd place finishes all the way up into 03, 04. And then the wheels come off slowly. I would say slowly, you know. They were there or thereabouts. And then out of nowhere comes an 18th place finish in 2010, 2011. They get promoted again straight away. Fair play to them. Get relegated, get promoted. And they mince about in the bottom half of the table all the way through to the 2017-18 season where they get relegated. They spend a couple of seasons in the league below and then they're relegated again. And they're relegated now into the Spanish 2nd Division B1 Group A as it stands here. And the thing with this is there is lots of playoffs here, I'm sure. When we look at the rules, you get out the group stages and you're playing for everything. Not ideal really, is it? Let's be honest. As 1st, 2nd and 3rd go to the promotion stage. You then have the promotion stage. You then have the playoff. Yeah, not ideal, that one. You know, I could be completely wrong. I know there's a really weird setup the further on down you get. You don't just win the league, get promoted, or finish in 2nd place and fight for promotion. There's playoffs all the way through. So when we look at Deportivo then, what's the expectation for the season preview? To get promoted, obviously, as it should be. And when we look at the Media Dream 11, the back 4 is all Depor players. So 11-4 to go up. I'd say we're in a fairly decent position there to do it. And if you didn't, yeah, I can't see you keeping your job at the end of it. And whilst probably not the biggest team on this list, Grasshoppers, Grasshopper Club Zurich, absolute shock and fall from grace. They're still in the top tier, don't get me wrong, and they've won the league a record 27 times. However, they've not been anywhere near touching that since. So when we have a look at the overview, the last won the league in 2002-2003, and while they've had a couple of 2nd place finishes in 2013 and 2014, it's not been good at all. They were then relegated in 2018-2019 and then promoted back to the Swiss Super League. Big one for your ear to really push them on. Like I say, 27 league titles, and that is a record within the Swiss division. When we look at their key player, Ami Abrashi, pronunciations, I'm absolutely spot on at them, absolutely nailed that. 30-year-old Albanian, 35 caps, 1 goal, looks alright for a team that's just been promoted back to the top tier. Finances wise, what does it look like on here? We've got 422k. Will we really be able to compete? Probably not with that. 4.8 million though, but I think they've got enough about them. When we look at the squad to consolidate, potential wise, plenty of incredible players there. Ability wise, decent as well. Got a good loan player in Leo Bonatini, 26-year-old Brazilian. He's average. He's not great, let's be honest, for a striker. 12 finishing, 12 composure. Not the quickest neither. He's also got the number 3 shirt, what they're playing at there. But let's have a look at what the expectation is for the season preview. So we're expected to finish bottom of the league. 500-1 as it stands. That kind of tells you about the talent that they think we've got. I don't think the team looks that bad there. And I reckon this is going to be an interesting challenge. So yes, for me, Grasshoppers. Can you win the league with them? Can you get title number 28 and overturn the powerhouses at Young Boys and Basel? Let's be honest, they're the 2 big teams. St. Gallen a team in there, 50-1 as well. But yeah, Grasshoppers 500-1. Not ideal at all. So there we go then, guys. That's my 5 top fallen giants. Now, again, debatable. Like I say, completely opinion. I think Grasshoppers has got to be in there with a shout, though, as being one of the biggest falls from grace in what I would say is not a massively competitive league, with Young Boys and Basel just tearing it up at the minute anyway. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. There'll be plenty of more FM22 content coming out, and hopefully we'll have plenty more top 5s coming your way as well. So thank you very much for watching. As always, stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.